Life is full of change. When you've done the same thing for over a decade, it's hard to think about doing something different. But the truth is, the place we are in life, whether good or bad, doesn't last forever. Or at least it doesn't have to. So often it's our choice. Sometimes we don't even know that we need the change. And then God gives us a nudge. That nudge takes on different appearances. A closed door, a gut feeling, or the opportunity of a lifetime. Part of making a decision or accepting change is the unknown. But when God tells me what to do, I don't worry about that. Saying goodbye is usually hard. But when it's been such a big part of your life, it makes it even harder. Today is my last day at Cypress Crossing. My family is very proud of what we've built with Scott and Jennifer, a labor of love that helped them to build and grow their dream. We brought a lot to the table, but we took away a lot as well. The experience and things we learned, and over a decade of memories. Building a lodge, the friendships, the dogs, making great food, and incredible hunts. It was a great run. And now it's time for a new chapter for my family. Hey, thanks for watching. Now that last clip of me driving down the road, that was in the middle of duck season. But today, as I'm talking to you now, it's way after duck season. It's March. Now a lot has happened since December. I've had a lot of questions asking, hey man, what's going on? Where are you at? Did you quit duck hunting? No, I didn't quit duck hunting. No, I didn't get mad and leave Cypress Crossing. Back in November, at the beginning of duck season, I started getting all kinds of job offers and business opportunities, partnerships, pretty exciting and cool stuff. And I realized pretty quick that if I was going to take advantage of some of these opportunities, I would have to quit my guiding job at Cypress Crossing in Stuttgart. Needless to say, my last half of duck season this past year was very, very different from what I've experienced in the last 15 years. I was able to do some really cool things, some research projects, hunt with friends, which I haven't done that much of in a while, hunting with some old friends and some new friends too. Since December, the greatest opportunity for me is getting to work with Mark Peterson. He has his own television show and a huge presence on social media. Plus, he owns the company Worldwide Trophy Adventures. If you want to go hunting for anything that you can imagine legally anywhere in the world, they're the ones that you call. They can help you do it. Whether it's going to New Zealand, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, you get the idea. They're by far the biggest in the business. Mark loves duck hunting. In fact, he is the only guy in history who's ever done the North American Waterfowl Slam, 43 species in one season, and that was during the COVID year. Now, Mark has been looking for a duck hunting property of his own to have in Arkansas for a number of years. About a year ago, he called me and asked if I could help him find a place in Arkansas. I made some phone calls and reached out to a few friends and began looking for what was available. It looked like this was going to take a while, maybe even a year or two. Fast forward to the middle of this past duck season, the fall of 22. And a friend of mine told me of a place that he knew that had come up for sale. It's an incredible place. The property is located about an hour and a half north of Stuttgart, Arkansas, on the White River just outside of Augusta. Nearby are some very well-known private duck clubs, as well as the Bald Knob Refuge and several state-managed wildlife management areas that provide some incredible duck hunting. I was really excited about the property, so I called Mark to tell him all about it. He told me, if you like it, let's buy it. So we bought it like really quick, right in the middle of duck season. And just like that, I was sitting at the helm of one of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. Now let me tell you more about the property. Like I said before, the property is in the right spot. Its location is in the heart of the wintering grounds, and that checks one major box. Box number 2 is the right habitat. This piece of property has an incredible diversity in habitat. Shallow water areas, feeding areas, big water, and flooded timber. One thing on many people's bucket list is to hunt flooded timber in Arkansas, and I'm really excited about our woods. This block of timber right here has had a bunch of ducks on it this year. In fact, there's a bunch of them back there behind me right now. On our property, we have 2 blocks of mature timber, and we also have 160 acres of 20-year-old planted hardwoods. The open ground side of the property is vast. It used to be a working soybean farm, and it was a well-known duck hunting spot when the river got high. But now it's been taken out of farming and converted into wetlands with multiple impoundments of moist soil habitat where we can control the water. It's not only a good duck hunting spot when the river gets up, but we can flood it and hold the water when we want to. Now all we got to do is turn the water on, and when the ducks are here, they're here. Once it gets flooded in the winter, there's all kinds of food and shelter and just a perfect place for the wintering ducks that we get here on the property and in this area in Arkansas. I've hunted and managed a lot of moist soil habitat since the late 1990s, and what I've found is that it's key to the success of an area in having some moist soil habitat in connection to the bulk of your hunting area. The property includes 3 creeks, 2 sloughs, and over 2 miles of White River frontage. When we made the offer for the new property, it included immediate access and use of the property, even before closing. There were no blinds on the property and very little water, so I had lots of work to do in very little time. Thankfully, I had friends to help. The fall and early winter had been extremely dry, and a major priority was getting water onto the impoundments. On the 2nd of January, we rolled out several hundred yards of poly pipe. And then turned on the diesel power unit for the pump. There was a lot of excitement as anticipation built, waiting for the water to come down the pipe.
Here we go.
We just bought this 1,700 acre property. It's in a great spot, but would the ducks come? Would they be there? It's already halfway through duck season. Lots of people are already shooting ducks nearby, so we know there's ducks in the area, but are they gonna come here? I feel confident that the ducks are coming, but how long would it take them to find it? We just have to wait. After the pump had been running about a week, I took a buddy of mine out with me to scout. There were ducks everywhere. The entire open ground side of the property was just buzzing with ducks. It was just awesome to see thousands and thousands of ducks. And as it got towards dark, they were coming literally from everywhere. And as we were standing there watching all those ducks, I told my buddy, this is gonna work. I used the last part of the duck season to learn the property, to see how it hunted, and to watch how birds use it. My wife and daughter have joined me on some weekends, and we've gone out and scouted ducks, and they've helped me map the place. One of the coolest spots to me on this property is right here, and it doesn't even have anything to do with a duck. Over 100 years ago, back in the late 1800s, there was a road that came through the property that crossed the creek right here behind me. And this is the remnants of an old swinging bridge that crossed that creek. Now, if you can see behind me, that creek doesn't look like a creek. It actually looks like a river. It's really, really big. And the bridge was a very big bridge. They used to drive a horse and buggy across it. In the early 1900s, they would even drive cars and trucks or whatever across it. And so it was a beefy bridge. And they had concrete supports. They had big iron and cables that used to suspend it. At some point in the 1940s, the bridge was destroyed, and we're still trying to find out exactly what happened. We've got some stories that are very interesting, but when we find out, I want to tell you all about it because it's pretty cool stuff. But when we started talking about a name for our property, we threw around a lot of names trying to get just the right name, and I kept coming back to the old Lost Bridge. So I suggested the name to Mark, the Lost Bridge Duck Club, and he said, that's it. And so that's what we're calling it, the Lost Bridge Duck Club. Well, this project is a full-time thing for me. The scale, the amount of work that needs to be done here, it's just huge. There are no buildings on the property. It's just raw land. So we have to build a lodge if we're going to house people, and that's definitely something we're going to do. So I have been neck deep in building plans and talking to construction companies and excavation guys and all of that stuff. As you can tell, this is a very special property, and I'm really, really excited and feel very blessed to be on the ground floor of such an exciting project. Like I said before, this whole project has come together very, very quickly for us. I had no idea at the beginning of November that I would be quitting my job guiding in Stuttgart and moving on to something much, much bigger for me. We've kind of kept it low-key for the last month or so, but we've decided now's the time to share our plan, let y'all know what we're doing. Mark Peterson put together a video podcast that I joined him for, and we talked a lot more in depth about what we're doing here on the property. So I invite you to watch and listen to that as well. You can check out the link to that in the description part of this video. So what about this YouTube channel? Is he gonna quit? Look, I'm not quitting. In fact, I'm invested more in surviving duck season. I'm going to continue doing more of the shotgunning series content, but with my new role on this property, it lends itself to giving me more opportunities to bring you new, interesting content. Updates and all the progress that we're making on this property. I hope you'll join us all along the way. From the Lost Bridge, I'm Joel Strickland. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.